Well, hello, you who are beloved by God. My name is Jonathan McCleary. I'm the pastor of Bay United Methodist Church, and I'm happy to be with you today to share in this midweek meditation. You are aware, I'm sure, of the ancient Hebrew greeting of shalom. It does not mean hello. It does not mean goodbye. The word means peace. When someone pronounces that word over you, they are not asking that you be blessed with wealth and prosperity, not health or long life, not success or victory. Instead, they're asking that you be blessed with something far more elusive. They wish you to have peace. But what exactly does that mean? Some define peace as the absence of war. It means to some to be free of conflict, to have no enemies, or at least to have your enemies vanquished. And while peace between nations and peoples is an admirable thing, the peace described in the Bible is something different. Jesus tells his disciples in John 14:27, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. I do not give you as the world gives. Do not let your heart be troubled, and do not be afraid." From this verse, we gather that the peace Jesus would want us to have is something other than the world's definition of peace. His peace, he says, is different. And although he doesn't define exactly what that peace is, he gives us a hint in the last part of that verse. Do not let your hearts be troubled. Do not be afraid. It seems the opposite of peace, if we read Jesus correctly, is to be troubled in heart and fearful. Once we are rid of these impediments, the peace Jesus promised can be ours. It's very clear that the peace that Jesus promised his disciples was very different from the peace that the world would define it as. The world's idea of peace would not be theirs. Jesus said his disciples would have enemies, just as he did. He promised them persecutions on account of him. And after all, the servant is treated no better than the master, yes? And we know how they treated Jesus. He said he did not come to bring peace, but a sword. Take a good look at Matthew 10 to see what troubles Jesus predicts for his followers on account of him. Clearly, this is not peace as the world defines it. No, the peace Jesus promised his disciples is the absence of fear in the face of these troubles. It is an assurance of the heart that all will be well, even in the midst of great persecution. An ancient Chinese philosopher, Wu Hixin, put it this way: what is called peace by many is merely the absence of disturbance. True peace cannot be disturbed. It resides beyond the reach of disturbance. End quote. You see, true peace is not the absence of trouble or conflict. It resides somewhere else, deep within, out of reach of the world's cares and troubles. This is why Jesus said, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. I do not give you as the world gives." Yes, the peace God would give you is something deeper and far more rich than the world's peace. It's something we do not fully understand, and yet we can and should fully seek it and affirm it. Paul the Apostle spoke of this in Philippians 4:7. He writes, "And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." Paul says this kind of peace is incomprehensible because how could we feel peace when trouble is swirling all around us? The world can't understand that true peace is an attitude of the heart, not the result of pleasant circumstances. Maintain your serenity in the midst of chaos and trouble, and you will confound the world. Paul also told us how to obtain this peace in the previous verse. Philippians 4:6 says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." Perhaps next time you face disturbing circumstances, you should pray not that the circumstances change, but that you might have within the peace that Jesus promised, peace that abides in the midst of trouble. After all, troubles come and go, always have, always will. But the peace of God is available always to guard our hearts and minds and give us peace shalom in any and all situations. Blessings to you all, dear ones. No meditation next week due to Holy Week, but we invite you to join our Maundy Thursday service at Bay United Methodist Church at 7 p.m. instead. Take care, and I will see you soon.